Okay.
Hello, welcome to the Enginerdy show. This is Mr. Pold and
DViddy.
And on Skype we have
St. Jimmy.
All right.
These are reflective.
All right. Looks like DViddy's back to the form that he was in when we very first started recording.
No, usually
YouTube.
I'm over here. There's no light off my glasses.
Oh, that's true.
I get right here, and all of a sudden, people are going to be able to read or see what we're seeing when we're podcasting.
Oh,
in my glasses.
you should always sit there then.
Right here? It'd be hard for... Sorry, Jimmy, you're going to have to lose some weight.
Done and done. Oh, wait.
That way.
I'll work on it.
Okay.
That way. Let's see what you did.
Our fake sponsor this week is Snark Tank, the show where investors bid on snide comments.
I could win that show. Is it a competition show?
I've been told I'm pretty snarky at work.
Really?
I got told to put my headphones on and stop talking today.
Wow.
It's not uncommon
Nice.
for us.
Oh, okay.
It's because they're talking about welds and whether they were SAT or unsat, and MTs, which are magnetic testing, particle testing. And they call me Monty at work, so I said, "Hey guys, look, it's Monty unsat." So I stood up.
And they told you to sit back down.
Said, "Well, yeah, no, I'm sat." And I did that too many times. Every time someone new came up,
How did they put up with you at work?
I don't know. They really feel
Well-
for my wife. They said she must be the most patient woman in the world. I said, I don't know, I think I'm pretty patient with her lack of laughing. I think I run on eye rolls, though, because it makes me feel good.
You gotta figure out how to turn that into power.
He's the one they call Dr. Eye Roll. He's the one that makes stupid puns. They're only stupid if you didn't think of them yourself, in my opinion.
Is that what the eye roll means?
Yes.
Like, how dumb of me. I should have thought of that.
I'm plugged in. What the...
Laptop issues?
Well, he was about to smash some cigarettes on the laptop with his fist.
Oh, yeah.
I can make some cool sound effects by touching the springs on the mic stand. I just need my laptop to stay on, and I just changed the setting, but like everything else in Windows, you change the setting and there's no OK button or reply button.
Oh, so it just shuts off because it likes
It's like,
you?
we're going to shut your computer off in 10 minutes to do an update. And I'm like, okay, or you can change the time. So I changed the time. There was no OK button, so I just clicked off of it, and that didn't change it. So in 10 minutes, guess what happened? I think I talked about that last week.
Probably.
They want to give you the illusion of control.
So I got an interesting call at work today.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, so I have a Dell laptop. I bought it over a year ago, and it's been telling me for the last 3 months that either my virus protection is going to expire, as well as my warranty on my computer is going to expire. And they wanted to make sure that I knew that even though I'm past my warranty date now, that I can still upgrade it so that I can continue on with my warranty for a small price, which is probably equivalent to like a quarter of the cost of my computer, which wasn't that great.
Okay.
Somebody from them called me at work today.
What?
With a horrible foreign accent I couldn't understand.
Did you see it like this?
No, it was not, he was not Swedish.
Oh, okay.
He wasn't a chef either, I don't think. So I finally get to a point where I'm like, it actually says warranty and extension, and I was like, I'm just not interested in the extra warranty, thank you, and just hung up. Which is better than when I used to have long distance companies call you on Saturdays. I don't know if it was in my file, but they found out I had a weak spot for women with southern accents. So it seemed like everyone that called me was a woman with a southern accent, and I couldn't be rude and hang up on them.
Maybe their call center is
So the
just
guy
in
from
the
India,
south.
I can hang up on him all day. I mean, that's the nicest thing that's happened to him where he lives, probably.
Well, it's night there, actually.
Oh, so he's tired.
Yeah.
You can just say, kindly take me off your list.
I think his name was Ryan, or Biff. That's what he said.
Biff?
Maybe it wasn't
You're like,
Biff.
is it like Biff Bannon?
He gave
Wait,
you
was
an
that
option on his name.
He did. He said,
You may either call me Ryan or Biff. What?
Neither one of those is your name. I'm pretty sure. Anyway, that was my thought today.
Well, happy St. David's Day.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, is that today?
Yeah, it's...
I didn't get any Davids I know a gift.
Why? I was expecting one.
Wait, is your name David?
Maybe. Or Ryan, or Biff. Why are you shutting off?
Or whatever you say.
It hasn't even been
Biffy.
10 minutes.
Okay, settings, power, and...
Stay powered on until I tell you not to be.
I will tell you when to turn off. It's setting at 2 hours.
Well, maybe hours could seem like minutes.
Sleep, never.
Well, this is entertaining pod.
I am at a loss. Well, you guys are supposed to fill in one angry.
Hey, do you guys remember a game
Yeah.
where
I do.
when you're playing it, you could hit a button and it would immediately pause the game and go to a DOS prompt?
Hmm.
And then, so like if you were playing it at work, you could hit it when your boss was coming, and he'd come and it would just look like a black screen with a little C colon
It
thing.
does sound familiar, but I can't remember.
And I think you could even type in there, but then you would hit escape and it would go back to the game.
I think it's called Excel.
I don't think Excel does that.
That's a game though, right?
Yeah, Excel was my favorite video game when I was in college.
We actually had some Excel games. Like there was a mini golf one.
Oh, the flight simulator.
That was fun. I think it's clever that, like, if you have no network connection, that the Google browser brings up a little dinosaur that you can jump over and play a little game with. I think that's clever. So what's St. David's Day celebrating?
The day that the patron saint of Wales died.
Wales, like the animal,
They
or
have their
the
own
country?
patron saint?
The country, actually.
Oh,
But
I still like the fact that when England was taking over Welsh? No, what's it called?
Wales.
That's like Welshville? No, that's not right.
Well,
No, he's
Welshville.
In order to appease the people, he told them that they would have a king that was Welsh. So when his wife was pregnant with the prince...
But then they Welshed on their promise?
No, when his wife was pregnant, the queen was pregnant with the prince that was going to be the king. He took her close to the due date to Wales, to a castle there where she gave birth to the king, or the soon-to-be king, or eventually king, so that he would be born in Wales, making him Welsh.
Oh, interesting. I remember talking to a friend of mine, and she told me and my other friend that her ancestors were part Welsh, and I said, "Oh, so does that mean you're part whale?" It didn't go over well.
No, when
yeah.
it breached the conversation.
Yes.
So I have a...
You
sorry.
started blubbering. No.
I was going to make a Free Willy joke, but go ahead.
This is a lot harder over Skype.
Yes.
I had an idea if we ever have a call-in show
Okay.
with a call screener. So you would say, like, they would tell you, okay, there's a guy named John on line 1. So you go, okay, line 1, Ron, and say his name wrong.
Every time.
And if he corrected you, every time, this is just part of the show, you always get their name wrong, and if they correct you, you say, oh, sorry, wrong line, and hang up on them. And then you only talk to people that won't correct you if you get their name wrong.
That'd be me, I think. I don't think I've ever corrected somebody by name.
Awesome.
Gets really awkward when you're a couple months into a relationship and they still have your name wrong because you never corrected them.
Oh, does your wife know your name yet?
No. She still calls me Biff.
Biff. D. Biffy. Or Biff Diddy?
If you guys have to make up a fake name, do you always go with River City Ransom names? Sometimes I say Squid. Or
Logan.
No.
I was actually playing that.
Alex and Ryan, is that
Those
the...
are the
Today.
main characters,
Yeah.
yeah.
No.
I've been playing that with my 6-year-old.
Remember the soccer game that looked very similar to that one?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was great.
It was good. You could do like a back flip bicycle kick and kill everybody.
Yeah, that was good. I think there was a volleyball version too. I played once.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway.
Well, you guys want to hear why I'm Skyping in instead of live?
Well, we
No.
know, but our audience might.
I mean, yes, we do want to know.
Well, my wife is out of town this week, so I've been Mr. Mom.
Was that Michael Keaton?
Yeah. Do you have to watch that movie before you...
Yeah, it was
He's
before
got-
It'd be funny to splice in like
It's on
the
a
original
continuous
Batman
loop.
with that. Like ends one scene and then it shows him like
And then
fighting
throw some
edit them together.
what was it? What was the name of the
and then Beetlejuice shows up.
What was the name of the one where he clones himself?
Synchronicity.
Oh yeah, that's what it was. I was thinking that
No,
was...
multiplicity.
Multiplicity.
Oh right, I was thinking
is different.
Synchronicity. I'm like, no, that's a Police album.
Oh yeah.
But Multiplicity, yeah.
So I've been getting kids up in the morning and
How much
taking
laundry have
them
you
to
done?
school. One batch.
One batch of kids?
Laundry?
Oh,
You guys
laundry.
Laundry?
Oh.
I'm taking care of dinner the last 2 nights.
I've taken care of dinner all week.
Hey, I take care of dinner a lot of times.
I
I bought my
Will be-
wife's affection with barbecue last night.
Mhm.
I went and got some.
I'll be very happy when my wife gets home.
So will the kids.
Yes.
Are you going to tie them at least a couple hours before so the color
Yeah, because you got to get the rope
The
marks
ropes,
to go
yeah.
away. Yeah.
you got time to fill back out?
Yeah.
The Enginerdy show does not condone child abuse. Too much.
Too much.
So I guess that's banter.
I'm
Yes.
all bantered out.
We're bantered out.
You know, I had an idea.
Oh boy.
I was thinking,
Dangerous.
That
If
sounds
we-
dangerous.
come into the studio, and we put a laptop in front of us, and
That never happens.
get one of those three-way splitters so we can all listen to the laptop. We could watch a movie on there, and record our comments.
Oh, and then put the track up on.
Yes, and then we tell them
Like a riff
start
tracks.
now.
Make a
Well,
riff track.
We could do a riff
Turn the
tracks,
page
or we
now.
could do a fake commentary. Like,
Oh, director's
pretend
commentary.
like I'm the key grip. I'm
I'm not the lead sound
actor's
guy,
driver.
but
And just come up
Yeah.
with fake.
three random people from the set.
3
Yeah.
animals were injured in the making of this
I was
film.
an extra in this one scene.
I'm the caterer's assistant. I don't actually get to touch the food, but
Owner
if
of
something
third
falls
car
on the
left
floor,
in the
I'm
parking
allowed to
lot.
pick it up and throw it away.
I don't know. We'd need to pick a movie that would be fun to make fun of. Probably
Wolf
something
Creek.
on Netflix that's
Star Wars
easily...
Episode 2.
Oh yeah, that'd be good.
Is that on Netflix?
Actually, the one we roasted
Oh.
the most when I had people over, when I was doing monthly movie viewings, was Return of the Jedi. There's
Really?
a lot of jokes being made about Luke kissing his sister and stuff. It's pretty funny.
Well, but this wouldn't be joking like riff tracks.
Oh.
We would be pretending like we knew
Okay.
insider stuff about scenes like.
I was totally missing that part of the conversation.
Oh, I
Yeah,
was saying
notice-
we could do the riff tracks type thing, or the fake commentary.
Or
Yeah.
When somebody doing one and everyone else.
I think what we would need to do is try it out before and not just blindly release it,
We should do just
Yeah.
chick flicks.
but see if it's
Yes.
which way it works better.
Because my wife won't let me. I haven't seen a chick flick in a long time. My wife won't watch them with me because of my comments. So this way she wouldn't have to have me there to listen to my comments.
Oh.
She could just play the recording.
That's right. If she misses me and hasn't got her requisite daily eye roll in, she can.
If you could sell that to her, then good on you.
It was like my idea to write a romance novel that ends with the last chapter being thermonuclear war that kills everybody. Or aliens show up.
But you'd have to write all the stuff that comes before that.
I know, that would be the hard part. Or would it?
Well, it would kind of be a modern retelling of Wuthering Heights because everybody dies in that one.
Do they?
Pretty much.
Spoiler alert.
They're all
Or Young Guns
dainty.
2.
Yeah.
Well, should we get to it?
Let's do it.
The nerdiculture section where we
The
watched...
easy one because we watched a movie.
Yes. So we watched the next movie on our list of Stephen King movies. This one is Cat's Eye,
Yes, it is.
and it did have a cat in it.
That was
Yeah.
continuous thing through the movie.
Yes, it was the same cat throughout the movie.
The cat got around.
Round and round. Oh, trying to think of that name, that song.
That
Yeah,
Tupac song?
yeah. Should we look at the spreadsheet?
Let's look at the spreadsheet. I feel like something's vibrating or making noise.
Weird.
It's your vocal cords.
So should we give a quick rundown of Cat's Eye? Should we give a spoiler warning in case someone wants to watch it?
I should have done that to a friend of mine that I told basically the entire plot of all three.
I did that to a friend of mine at work too. I saw this movie. Let me tell you play by play what happened.
Scene by scene breakdown.
Yes,
with
pretty much.
Well, this is one I would actually recommend people watch.
It's good.
Yes.
I'm glad it stood up to
Drew Barrymore.
My memory is from when I watched it as a kid. It was like the scariest thing I'd seen.
So yeah, you want to go tell us
parts
about
of it seemed familiar to me, so I may have seen it as a kid, but I was younger than you, so maybe my memories aren't as good, or maybe it's a false memory.
He's
but
caught up now. It's just back then he was younger than me.
yeah, I'll eventually pass you, I hope.
Well, our listeners have been forewarned. If they don't want this movie spoiled, then they'll just have to skip it. And
well, it's still worth a watch because I would watch it again sometime, even though I know what happens.
Well, we'll make sure at the end of the show to tell them what the next movie we're going to watch is. So if they really want to see it before we tell all about it, then they can do that.
How about this?
Yeah,
pick a number
good idea.
1 and 3, Mr. Bold.
Okay.
Pick a number. Say it.
Oh, 2.
Okay, St. Jimmy. Pick a number that's either 1 or 3.
3.
All right, I'll tell the first one.
Oh, I get the middle one?
Yes.
Okay.
So what's the name of the actor in the first one? He was recognized.
Oh!
I don't remember.
James something.
James Woods.
Maybe. I think that might be it.
We should look at
could
something
be totally wrong.
to make sure.
Okay, so I'll start. You look that up.
Okay.
So this guy is a smoker, which this appeared to be in the 80s, right?
It is James Woods.
Sweet, we came up with one.
And Alan King.
So it was the 80s, right? If anyone lived through the 80s, they understand that there was a large portion of the population that smoked. It smoked a lot, and you could smoke places. It was before the restaurant bans even, or say you went to a bar or a bowling alley, there would be smoke, and lots of people smoking. So this guy, a friend of his tells him he's got this great company that can help him quit smoking. And so he goes to this place and immediately kind of figures out that something's weird about it and wants to leave. So he gets talked into meeting with the head guy of the company. And it turns out it's almost like a front for the mafia. But the mafia does want to stop you from smoking. So they have strong-arm techniques that if you have another cigarette, they will subject to your family members. Like there's a room with electrical grid floor. That they said after your first cigarette, they'll put your wife in there and turn it on, so she'll get her feet will get electrocuted, making her dance around.
To catchy music.
Right, which is funny. And they said the second cigarette will be your daughter in there, and then the next one, I think they said rape your wife or something?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it goes pretty drastic, but it seemed to be effective.
Well, and then he said that nobody's ever messed up a fourth time.
Right.
And then he showed him his gun.
That's when they kill you.
Yes.
Which is funny because they're talking about how when they first started it, I think probably their mafia boss or whatever died of lung cancer. So in his memory, they're going to keep people from smoking.
Well,
and they said that anyone, or that you'd always be watched, and you'd see some of the people all of the time, or some of the time, and you'd see none of the people some of the time, but you'd never. I don't remember how it went. Anyways, they said he'd always be watched. And at one point, there's a funny scene where he's about to have a cigarette in his den, and he hears a noise in the closet, and there's obviously somebody in the closet, but they won't confront the guy, which is probably smart.
Didn't you tell him about the cat being electrocuted first?
So first, they show him what the room did. The main cat in the story, was put in the room, and shocked, well, jumped around and hissed and was unhappy. And there's also this thing at the end where he's been successful with not smoking after having one lapse, which did put his wife in the room. They were talking about how people that quit smoking gain weight, so they put them on a weight control program too. And while they're joking around, he says, "So what happens if I go over the weight that you set?" And he's like, "Oh, we just take your finger."
No,
Your wife's
Wife's finger. But at the end,
Wife's pinky finger.
they're having dinner with this friend and told him about the place, and they're toasting to this company to help them quit smoking. And the main character notices his friend's wife is missing her pinky finger. And at that point,
Which was hilarious.
how did the cat escape that one? Can't remember.
They knocked he was wrestling the guy for the gun when he had his wife in the room, and they knocked the kennel off the desk and the cat got away.
Which allowed him to go to the next story. In a truck, right?
Yeah.
Didn't he stow away in a truck? The
So,
was that the truck or was that the boat? That was the boat.
Maybe the boat.
He got to
the
that
ferry.
place on the truck after he got chased by Cujo.
yes, so the beginning of the movie starts with the cat being chased by what looked like a bloodied Saint Bernard, which obviously was Cujo.
And they almost get run over by Christine.
He almost got run over by
There was a lot of
there's
shout
a
outs.
Fury, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot
And,
of call
and it
outs
had
to
a
that.
bumper sticker that said the name Christine on it. Yeah. So the second story involves a guy that likes to make wagers. And the way the cat plays into this one is the cat is like in the median in the road.
They're in like
They're Atlantic City.
Atlantic City.
Yes. And so the guy that likes to make wagers bet somebody else that the cat would make it across. And so the cat runs and causes a big car accident, but he does make it across. And so what happens with this one is this guy, he had a wife that ran off with some other dude, which happened to be the guy from Airplane.
What was
Yeah.
I had the
Striker.
name. Striker.
It starts at a bus depot.
Robert Hayes.
Anyways.
So Robert Hayes ran off with this guy's wife. Well, he puts the wife on a bus to get her away, I guess. I wasn't paying that close attention to this part. But anyway, the guy that makes wagers, do we remember the character's name?
No, it's a guy that played. I want to say he was in Dune and played the Baron Harkonnen.
Oh, I could probably look it up. I've got it up on my...
Kressner
Yeah.
is the character's name. Kressner, right? Is that right?
Yep, that's him.
So anyway, Kressner has, was it cocaine or heroin that they hid in his
Probably
trunk?
cocaine, booger sugar.
Yeah, they put some drugs, stashed some drugs in the. Johnny was the guy that was in Airplane.
Yeah.
Anyway, they put the drugs in Johnny's trunk, and then they were going to call the police and have him get arrested for having possession of drugs. But Kressner makes him a proposition that if he takes him up on his bet, and he wins the bet, then they will take the drugs out of his car, they'll give him some money, and he can keep the wife of Kressner's wife. And so the alternative is getting turned in and going to prison and everything. So turns out that the wager is that Johnny would not be able to walk on this 4 or 5 inch ledge
Around his 4-inch ledge.
around the top of the high-rise building that they're in.
The penthouse of the.
Yes. And so, Johnny doesn't see any other choice, so he takes him up on the bet. And Kressner tries really hard to make it difficult for Johnny to complete the task. Like, he had this ribbon at one point that he was trying to make him lose his balance.
Sprays him with a fire hose.
Yeah,
Well,
like horn.
Johnny comes up to some windows and he tries opening them, and Kressner comes out the other window with a horn, and he almost falls all the way off the building, but he catches himself on another ledge and climbs back up. There's a pigeon that pecks at his ankle.
Incessantly.
Yeah. He finds this little, what would you call it? Like a
Alcove
Yeah, alcove. That's the word I'm looking for.
with
He
plants in it.
finds this little alcove where he can like catch his breath after fighting with the pigeon. Well, then Kressner shows up with a fire hose and starts spraying him and says, "I'll spray you right off the building if you don't get moving." So he keeps going and eventually does make it all the way around and climbs up in the balcony. And the guy makes a racial slur and says he doesn't welsh on his bets.
Yeah,
I'm guessing that's a Wales racial slur. I don't know.
I think it is.
Saint
Well, I'm not
David
sure
would be
whales are a race.
offended.
They're more of a species
It's a culture, right?
family.
I don't know.
Country.
Oh,
It's part of the UK.
I don't ever dolphin on my bets.
Okay. Did you make that pun on
Which means
porpoise?
I never win.
Oh.
Oh, that's
Oh,
hard.
except for the year they
Oh.
didn't lose in the 70s. Anyway, where was I? Oh, yeah. Kressner says that, he follows through on his bets. So he tells him that they've taken the drugs out of his car, and he's got this big bag of money. And when he sits on the floor, his wife's head rolls out of it. And he said, "You got my wife, too. Ha, 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 ha." Well, so then, I can't remember what happened. There's a scuffle.
There's a
Johnny-
hitman.
How does a hitman or
Yeah.
his body?
He's gonna
Johnny
kill him
tries-
anyways.
Tries to get the gun, and the cat trips him or something.
Oh, Kressner
Yeah.
trips up again.
Yeah, something like that. Anyway, the whole time Kressner is holding this cat. Well, the cat jumps down and runs away, and trips up one of the guys, and Johnny ends up with the gun. And the bodyguard gets killed, right?
Yeah, I think he shoots him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he forces Kressner to walk on the ledge, and Kressner makes it as far as the pigeon.
Which I don't think it was as far as where the pigeon was, because he kicked it off the building and it came back and probably came back closer to where
Yeah.
Kressner had the unfortunate of not being an athlete, if you can call it a tennis star an athlete.
Well, and he's overweight,
that's what I
so
meant by
he
that.
couldn't stand as close to the building as Johnny
The
could
center of gravity was hard to get.
over the ledge.
Yeah,
So he went over the ledge.
and he was in slippers, I think.
Oh, yeah.
So
That
he
was
fell off.
the
Yeah.
second story.
Well, I think it was higher than that.
Yes,
Killed
he
him with
fell
a-
for quite a while.
and then landed next to the horn, right? Or on the horn.
Yeah. Which the cat
So-
sees the horn when it's running away, too.
Yeah.
Anyway.
They're trying to get high scores on continuity.
They
So
are.
then, yeah. So then the cat ends up in a train car,
Oh yeah,
and
that makes sense.
so a couple times earlier in the show, it had seen this vision of this little girl that was telling it to come save her. Well, then he shows up at this girl's house, and it's Drew Barrymore as a youngster. And she loves the cat immediately, brings it in the house. The mom doesn't want to keep it, so they make it sleep outside. Well, the girl's been having nightmares about this creature that comes in her room at night. And so then after the cat's introduced, the mom, there's like messes in the kid's room and stuff, and she blames it on the cat. But then the next night, the cat's not even around, and it happens, and she blames it on the cat. Well, then you find out that there's this little creature that's like 4 inches tall or something.
like a troll.
That's a little troll that can climb out of the baseboard in the room, and it's going and it's kind of funny because they were talking about reasons not to have a cat, and one of them was like, "Oh, it'll eat your bird," and the other ones were like, "Oh, they steal your breath while you're sleeping," and all this stuff. Well, all those things that they said the cat would do the troll does. So it goes and kills the bird. It goes and makes a mess in the room, and then while she's sleeping, it goes and starts stealing her breath. And the cat climbs a tree, comes in the window, and fights off the troll, and saves the girl. And the parents find the after effects and believe in troll finally, but
They find his arm and his little knife.
yeah, so at one point the cat and the troll fight once, and the troll stabs the cat with a knife. And then the cat's blood leading out the window is what made them think the cat had killed the bird. They thought it was bird blood. But then when the dad finds the cat and looks at it, he's like, oh, this is a big wound it has here, and so he seems like he's a little bit more on the cat's side.
Get the pun. Oh.
Well,
or the innuendo.
At one part, the mom actually takes the cat to the pound, and it's in
oh yeah,
it's gonna get
euthanized. There's actually a door that says euthanasia area or something like that.
Which of course they would have. As families come to pick out a pet.
Right.
If you don't pick out all of them, they go here.
Oh yeah, and the cat almost got adopted, didn't it?
I don't think so.
Is that a different show I'm thinking? Oh, you know what I'm confusing it with?
No.
Alf.
Oh.
Alf ends up at the pound, and this little girl
was
gonna almost adopt him.
They think he was a dog?
They think it is an ugly dog. And he...
No, but the cat lays there like it's sleeping, and when the guy opens the door to put the food bowl in, it springs out and runs off, and he runs outside chasing it like he's gonna catch it. Anyways, but the cat goes back to the house and saves the girl, and the way it ends is...
It's awesome.
The cat... Oh, what was the troll doing? Was it hanging from the balloons at this point or something?
Yeah, I think the cat hit it and it landed on the record player. It turned around.
Oh, it was on the record player. So it's on the record player. The cat turns it on so it's spinning, and then hits it and it goes flying into the fan, and the fan shreds it.
Well, based on the strength of the fan shroud, I'm not sure that's a safe fan to have in a child's room.
Yeah.
No. I mean, it had like steel blades and everything.
It looked like almost something you would like reclaim from like an old warehouse. Maybe that's what the dad did for work.
Yeah, so the troll ended up a bloody mess.
And that's for our British friends. He's actually being literal there.
Yeah.
He's not using swears. Yet.
So it was a good movie. I liked it.
Yeah, it was pretty good for when it was made.
Yeah, 1985.
Scores.
Yes.
Okay, so title quality. Cat's Eye. I thought that's pretty decent.
It's not very descriptive.
Well, it has the benefit of having a cat in it, but...
Well, Sleepwalkers had cats in it too.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but no sleepwalking.
That's true, also.
So what are you going to rate it?
I've got it at 8.
I'll give it a 6.
Okay, I'm going to go 7.
I like the title, though. I think it catches your attention, makes you want to rewatch it.
Oops, what did you say? 6. Sorry, I hit the wrong key.
Oh.
Alright, casting seemed like some
it had a
pretty
lot
good...
of people we knew.
Yeah, I recognized even one of the goons.
And they seem to be... Yeah, they seem to... Yeah, they...
Drew Barrymore?
They did a good job.
Oh, yeah.
The mom, man, she was... I didn't like the mom. I thought the dad was cool, though.
Oh, man, they had some pretty hardcore bedroom doors in that house.
Yeah, they did. 2
adults couldn't break it down. It obviously wasn't hollow core.
Like, I don't have hollow core doors in my house.
Oh.
Mine are solid, I think. But even if you have, like, panels in between, you're not going to find a completely solid door.
Huh.
I think the parents are just weak. Maybe it's magic, because it seemed like the troll had magic.
Yeah, I'll give the doors a 9. Just kidding. Casting, I'll give it a 7.
Okay. Yeah, let's see what I rated other stuff.
I went 8 on that.
Well, we gave I gave an 8 to Silver Bullet, and this was at least that good, so I'll go 8. All right, soundtrack. There were a bunch of songs
Wasn't
in
there
it
a
that
police song that played multiple times in the show?
Yeah,
I
Yeah,
thought the
it's called
soundtrack was pretty good.
Cat's
Yeah.
Eye. Oh,
Man, most of these I hit 8 on. I put 8 on the soundtrack.
I'd do 8 for soundtrack.
all right. Yeah, I
Of
was
course, I
thinking
dig
that.
the 80s.
Cinematography.
I don't know. It didn't stand out to me.
Had interesting shots. I mean,
The only part that bumped me was the green screen with the troll.
I thought the troll did a good job.
That would be special effects, though, right?
That's the 80s.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Cinematography would be like setting up the shots. You know how.
Yeah,
I'll give it a 5 because I didn't really.
I guess I'm giving it that much
Which
because
one
it
way
did
or
have
the
a like actual physical reaction to the scene where he's on the outside of the building.
oh yeah.
But that's mostly because I'm afraid of heights.
I'll go 6. Special effects. There was some parts where I think there was some cat parts where you could tell it wasn't a real cat.
They should. I mean, I kind of rated it based on the equivalency of when it was made.
Oh,
Judging on today's special effects.
I'll give it.
yeah. The troll actually was really good. Like it had like natural facial expressions.
Mhm.
Like it didn't. It looked pretty good. Other
just-
than you could tell it was green screen.
Yeah, just the green screen work was. I'd give it a
I
7.
think that was stop action when they did that. Stop motion.
Was it?
Didn't
It
seem
didn't
like
look stop
to
motion.
me.
How would they do it then?
I don't know.
I don't know, animatronic maybe.
Or a guy in a suit just scaled down and put on the.
Well, I was trying to figure that, and the mask didn't look like you could
I bet-
control.
I bet somebody
That-
knows. We'll
Yeah.
look it up. Maybe report later.
Yeah. Stunts.
I thought
I
the
don't-
lady in the electric room was pretty convincing.
Oh,
The cat stunt was pretty good with it in the electric room too.
Oh yeah.
walking
How
on
did
the
they-
balcony or not the
Yeah,
balcony,
walking
the
on the
ledge.
balcony, that was pretty good with the pigeon. How
Yeah.
do you train a pigeon to do that?
Put
So
seeds in your sock.
I'd give it a 6.
Okay.
I mean, there wasn't.
I went 8 on it.
Yeah, I'd probably give it a 6. All right, plot.
They had some interesting twists.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the friend with
The fingerless
finger missing.
wife. Oh,
Yeah, that was pretty good. That first one, the plot was really interesting.
Oh, the
I
special
liked it.
effects. Going back to the special effects, I liked the scene where he was like hallucinating because of the cigarettes.
oh yeah.
That
Oh.
was hilarious. He's at a party and there's everyone smoking and he's
Yeah, that
definitely
was funny.
hallucinating. I wonder if you'd ask someone that smoked and then quit if they feel that way. You know, watching that scene. Does this make sense at all?
Yeah, the middle story wasn't as intriguing. I guess.
Yeah,
I liked the
I
third
mean,
one.
the payoff was decent where he made him walk, but you knew what was going to happen.
Yeah. Well, I
I still had a visceral reaction to it.
gave
Yeah.
it a 7 for plot.
Okay.
Although that definitely beat having someone's head in a box, or basically a surprising. They beat 7 out, which did that later in the 90s.
Yeah.
On a show I watched
Continuity?
recently did the same thing. I thought the continuity was good. I think they
Yeah,
tried really hard at it.
There is some good continuity. Like the song
Yeah.
from the hallucination scene with the smoking was the same
Yeah.
song that was played on the record in the little girl's room.
Oh, yeah.
The cat kind of tied it all together.
Uh-huh.
I guess there was a cut scene. They were gonna have a scene at the beginning that kind of explained more why the cat was
I'm glad they didn't.
through that, but they decided it was too much exposition and just go
Huh.
with it.
I don't think you need to know that.
No.
Yeah, it was fine without it. I'd give it an 8 for
Yeah, I
continuity.
was gonna go 8.
That's what I did.
That's our highest continuity so far of all the movies. Characters. I thought they were all pretty good.
I liked it.
trying to think if there was any characters that seemed
Out of place.
Like the lady that drove the Escalade in the last movie.
Oh, yeah, the old Cadillac.
Yeah.
Oh.
Characters seemed good. I think my favorites were the ones in the first one.
Like
The
the third one.
gangster guys.
You know, they weren't bland like just standard parents. They had depth.
Yeah.
You kind of believe.
Oh, I don't think we mentioned that the mom in the third one was reading Pet Sematary.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Oh, and there was a scene in the first one with the smoker where he's just quit smoking and he's watching The Dead Zone on TV.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then makes a comment about the horrible writing or whatever.
Right.
Alright, so characters.
I went 8.
Yeah, I'll probably go 8.
I'm going to 7.
Alright. Acting.
I thought the acting was fine.
Compared
Yeah, it
to
was
everything
pretty
we
good.
watched to this point,
Yeah.
the acting was awesome.
There wasn't really anybody that I was like, oh man, that's a bad actor.
I'll give it an 8.
Okay,
like
I'll
that.
give it an 8 also.
So when he first comes into the office to quit smoking, someone else is there in the waiting room.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
nervous.
Oh yeah.
His wife, when she came out, that's awesome. It's so funny.
She starts
Therefore, you have no
beating
idea what's
on him.
going on. She's just this
Right.
lady that's all disheveled, and she comes out of the back room. And she's like assaulting her husband, doesn't she? What is going on here?
Yeah, and then you find out later what that was about.
Yeah, you almost
Right.
thought that she was the one that he was forcing to quit smoking.
Right.
But I kind of turned around on you.
The dialogue.
The dialogue in this one was really good too.
Yeah, there was
everything believable. I
there was
thought.
nothing really stupid.
No.
Right.
Like, what was that one in the Sleepwalkers one?
Oh.
Where he's making lemonade in his pants or something?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing
No,
ridiculous
was
like
in,
that.
That was in Silver Bullet.
Was that? Oh,
Was
that
that
was
one
that
where
was
the-
in Silver
That
Bullet.
was
You're
the
right.
old couple, right?
Yeah.
The wife, the unpicked husband, getting made fun of by his wife while they're hunting the werewolf.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is no ridiculous dialogue like in some of those other movies.
Well, and there was a lot of dialogue. I mean, it really helped the story. It was well-written dialogue.
And the continuity from the dialogue to the rest of the story, like you were talking about the parents telling stories about why they can't have the cat.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Everything they say comes true with the troll.
Yeah.
I'll give dialogue a 8.
Yeah, I think I will. Horror?
DViddy was horrified by the building one.
I gave it more, just because of the building. I thought.
Yeah, the first
Scared me.
one didn't really have any horror aspects. I guess unless you're thinking like, oh man, what would I do? You know, or if that was my wife, or
I'd stop smoking.
yeah. Well, it's better when you don't even start. But
Oh, yeah.
But it kind of fits in other things other than smoking. It's something bad in your life that you might be doing that affects your personal life with your family. And are you willing? Can you understand it to
Going
the point
deep.
that you can stop doing it, understanding that it's hurting your family? It's just
Right,
taken
it-
all the way to the physical level of it.
yeah, it basically
Let's talk
took
about
that
psychology.
invisible hurt that you were harmed, and made it visible.
Right.
It seemed like there was some good suspense in the third one. Definitely.
Yeah.
You're not knowing what it was because you just see its point of view for a lot of it.
Oh, yeah.
When it's
At the
sneaking into
beginning.
the house. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was decent.
Oh, it's 7.
Yeah, I'll probably give it a 6.
Yeah, I was going to go 6.
Oops, that's not a 6.
That's a 3. I know my
LOLs?
I laughed. Probably not as much as Sleepwalkers, but I gave it a 7 because Sleepwalkers I was more laughing at it.
Oh,
I don't know. There's some parts that were pretty amusing in the. I don't know. I found parts amusing.
I'll
guess
go
I
with
laugh out loud
5.
though.
It was not...
Yeah, I think I'm gonna change mine. Change mine
okay.
to 5 because
Okay.
I wasn't
I gave
laughing
it a
out
4.
loud. I mean,
Quotability? I can't really...
I gave it more than other ones, but now I'm thinking about it. I can't think of
Yeah.
It's almost like we should wait a week and then say, okay, come up with any lines from the movie.
And I
Right.
can't.
There's definitely no, like, make love to me like a hero or
It's true.
we made you!
Right.
So definitely not as quotable as Maximum Overdrive.
That's true.
I'll give it a 4 then.
Alright, I think 4 is probably generous.
Drop mine back down to a 4.
Okay,
I rated this right afterwards, so I think.
yeah. Awakitude, it was great.
I
would not.
I was captivated.
I was captivated as well, and I'd seen it before even.
Yeah.
I remember
So-
all the parts to it too. So
Yeah, I'd probably do 9.
Okay.
I was
that's the
interested.
highest we've rated anything.
I was interested in watching it, so.
Yeah, I'll probably go with an 8 on that. Is Bones kind of comparable? Puns? There was one.
There
What
was
was
a
it?
pun.
There was a pun. It was
kind of inappropriate, maybe.
kind of
I
a
can't remember what it
sexual
was.
innuendo type pun
Oh, okay.
So we have a company meeting, and
about male anatomy.
our boss told a joke that our old division manager had told him in a meeting once.
Uh-huh.
He was saying, "Yeah, I'm gonna take the next week off. My wife's planning on getting pregnant, and I thought I should be there."
Nice.
So I give it a 5 because there was an actual pun that was told as a pun in the movie, which made me happy. But there's only one, so I give it a 5. If there's ever one with
I'll give
two,
it a 3.
I'll probably go 10. There's 5 with 2 puns.
I mean, it wasn't a very clever pun.
No.
It was
Yeah. I'll just
comparing
go
the
for it.
action of a bird's beak with
male
a
anatomy.
male anatomy.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mom. That dry description.
Yes, we're going to be really dry with that description.
All right.
If you have an
and
imagination, you can figure it out.
the final category is grouptitude. So would you guys watch this just on your own?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
definitely.
I'll put 7.
Yeah, it had high grouptitude.
Yeah, I'll do
There's-
7.
Knowing there's other things coming that I'm going to give really high ratings,
Yeah.
I went 7 on this one. Holy cow.
Okay, so we this is our highest rated so far by quite a bit.
It was also highest rated for the critics. The combined
Yeah, it was well
Yeah.
critics and audience.
done. Now, how was Stephen King related to this one? Did he direct?
He wrote the screenplay.
He wrote it but didn't direct.
Did it say this
Yeah.
was his first screenplay? I thought it said that on one of the extras.
I don't know. Maybe.
Oh, it was funny on the extras. You can look at little bios of the actors, and there's a bio of Stephen King, and he's holding the cat.
Oh
And
yeah.
there's like 2 different pictures of him holding this cat.
He is a weird looking dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
Does he have kids?
All right.
I
So
believe.
IMDb rated this movie 6.3 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes top critics gave it a 69%.
Which is really
So
good.
69% of them thought that this was a good movie. And the
That's nice, I can
audience,
see.
49% of the audience thought that this was a good movie.
It's weird.
Just under half, huh?
It's
Yeah,
opposite
so-
the way it usually goes.
Combined, that gives it a 6.03, which is half a point higher than the next highest, which was Silver Bullet. And we gave it a 7.09, which
That's
is
passing.
over half a point above Silver Bullet.
Yeah, we gave
So-
Silver Bullet a 6.44.
Yeah. So yeah, this was the best movie by far, and I would actually recommend this to people.
Yeah, it was entertaining.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was entertaining enough. I told the entire story to my friend on the walk to them.
So I'm glad that they were that it was done as short, as an anthology, because
Right.
none of the stories was really enough for a full movie.
Right.
I wonder if he submitted 3 different, scripts, and they said, well, not any of these is good enough for a full-length movie. It's like, well, let's combine them. We'll put a cat through the whole thing. Call it Cat's Eye.
So the first 2 were based on short stories from one of his anthology books.
Did it have a
Okay.
cat involved in them?
I don't know, but the last one was made just for this
Oh.
movie, so not based on a story.
Cool.
So our next movie is Needful Things.
I've read that book, but it was like in the 90s.
So I don't know when we're gonna watch it, but
That gives our audience time to
yeah,
watch
if our
it.
audience
if they
wants
want
to watch it, so they know what we're talking about when we're rating it,
Yeah,
then we should.
We're starting to get into the better movies.
Yeah.
I
And
think.
we'll continue to spoil them, so.
Yes, I think we've turned a corner.
Yeah.
I hope. Some of them I'm looking at, I'm like, I don't even know what they're about.
Huh.
I'm not looking forward to Hearts in Atlantis. It sounds scary to me.
I don't think that's going to be a scary one.
I know, that's why it's scary. It sounds like a chick flick.
It might be.
It's not like, Kalima! He rips off someone's heart.
There's a character that's in Hearts and Atlantis that is in the Dark Tower series.
Bob Viva?
Yes.
Sweet.
All right. Well, that's nerdiculture for you.
Very nice.
Awesome. That was fun. Okay. So for Technergy, I'm going to talk about Pervious Concrete.
Awesome.
Haven't you talked about this previously?
Don't be a perv.
Hey, I'm not
Perv concrete?
impervious
You're gonna
to...
talk about it like looks up your skirt when you walk in on it?
No,
Or coat
so
if you're a dude?
I think
most
he's
people know
impervious to
that
comments.
impervious means that you can't be... Something impervious cannot be...
Perviated?
Water won't percolate through it.
Right, it's like a solid thing that you can't get through. It's impervious.
Which, according to stormwater regulations, gravel is impervious.
Really?
Yes, you have to count it the same as you would concrete or asphalt.
Huh.
Or a roof.
So,
At least locally.
in some places they use pervious concrete, and what it is it lets water drain right through it.
The Winco in the city near us, where our work is, has a pervious concrete parking lot.
Huh.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So check it out.
It's used for, because water, so impervious concrete, the water will run along it until it finds a drain, picking up contaminants, whatever's on the surface, oil, dirt, all that kind of stuff. So pervious concrete, the water can flow through it and then to, the collection system or whatever. Around here they use it because they want all of the water from a building site to exit it the way it would have naturally before you built on it, I guess.
Well, yeah, the rules, they used to make it so it was before it was, not necessarily,
Developed.
before it was developed, but now they want it to be the same before people were there. Which is funny because the environment around everywhere changes. So, I mean,
Right.
And so basically around here you have to capture all the water on site, and then you...
When was the ice or the land bridge at the Bering Sea?
It's a long time ago. 12,000
I
years
want
know.
it to be like when it was the Jurassic period.
Yes, that's pretty much it. So most of the places have to capture the entirety of the water that drops on their site so they can release it at that pre-development rate.
So it's catch and release.
Yeah, basically. But so you have to have enough storage volume to... And here, you need a lot of storage volume. And so, like... I know a lot about this, but if you want to continue, go ahead. This is
Okay.
Civil engineering. This is right up my alley. Pervious.
Your pervious alley.
Yeah.
Let's not call it that. Sorry, Mom.
Episode title,
It's Totes Perv.
So
leave us out of your pervy.
the problem with
Yeah, Pervious Concrete's nuts.
the problem with pervious concrete, using it
Goes
for
right through it.
roads and stuff, is that it's
You
not
have to
as
vacuum it.
strong as
You do.
regular concrete.
Right.
So
The E-cells are not as many.
it has a lower strength and it has a higher wear rate. So
That's what I said.
there are some industries now that produce a lot of carbon fiber waste. So it's like cured carbon fiber material that has been cut off as excess and is just going to be thrown away.
Back to
So-
talk about waste.
So these researchers at Washington State University got a bunch of it from Boeing, who uses it in airplane construction. They got a bunch of the waste, and they ground it up and added it into their Pervious Concrete mixture. And they got some interesting results. So they had a control batch, and then they had 3 different batches with different percentages of the carbon fiber. And they found that the tensile strength increased by between 57 and 84%
Wow, that's pretty
from the control. So that is a huge improvement.
What about the pencil strength? Just kidding.
And the flexural strength went up. I don't know what that means exactly.
But you want it to be able to recover once you're driving a car or a large truck over it.
Oh, so that deals with the recovery. Okay. And this was 28-day testing,
don't
so
want
they
it
let it
brittle.
cure for 28 days before they tested it. It was 50% more tough,
That's good.
and then they gave it an abrasion test, and the control sample had a 50% loss in mass.
So if you trip
over
on
the-
it, it's going to expose your bones if you skin your knee on it.
But the
That'd be important for, let's say, stopping distance.
yeah, so in their test, the control lost 50% of its mass over the testing period, and the other samples only lost between 16 and 31% of their mass.
That's a good improvement.
So, like a third less, or a third as much as the control sample. So that is a huge improvement over just regular pervious concrete. So that means that this could be used in more applications where you would normally have to use a impervious concrete. You could now use pervious concrete with this carbon fiber material in it and get better water control.
Now,
I got
before
carbon fiber in my ring.
we've like specified at work before. I've worked with guys that specified pervious concrete, but mostly for sidewalks,
Oh,
places with foot traffic.
yeah, because it doesn't wear and it doesn't need the strength.
And another, good reason to use it in a parking lot. You're talking lower speeds. You wouldn't have it probably in the truck path, like where semi trucks to load up the store, but where passenger cars are parking and traveling at low speeds, that'd be appropriate. And the nice
Right.
thing is you can use more of your site for parking, because you get not only the storage, you put like big storage pipes underneath the parking lot, but you also get the thickness of the concrete to store water.
Oh, yeah.
So you don't have these big, huge swells. You need like depressions in land or big pond capture places.
Right. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. It's using waste to improve water control. And that's what we're doing.
Yeah, civil engineering is really into recycling, like asphalt. When the asphalt road is bad and they tear it up, they can just recycle that asphalt.
Oh, that's cool.
Steel,
Yeah,
for
so-
instance, I think some huge number of steel in the United States is all recycled. They don't have smelting plants to make new steel. They just use recycled steel for most steel.
Huh. That's awesome. So this study just came out. I mean, this article is from this month.
March?
It says March 2008. Volume.
Oh, wow.
You know, this is. So I'm
2008.
looking at the Journal of Materials and Civil Engineering from the ASCE library site, and it says Volume 30, Issue 3, March 2018.
Wow.
So, where I got this article from is Master Zed sent me a link earlier in a text to, let me see who the article, from New Atlas is the website, and then I found the link to the original technical paper through that, so I could get more info. But
cool.
so this is thanks to Master Zed, since I haven't had much time to do show prep due to my single parenting this week, so he bailed me out on that one. And that's Technerdy.
Alrighty,
Great.
thank you.
I think that's the most attention I've paid in one of your videos in a while. It was interesting. It had a great awakenitude for me.
Good. Were there any puns?
Not from you.
We gave some.
I think the Pervious Concrete is my favorite one. Especially when you start talking about waste.
Yeah.
So I guess that brings us to the news.
The random news.
Mine is based off of an argument I had with a coworker, which is based off a comment I heard on Grand Tour.
Oh.
And it relates to the best-selling cars from last year, which would be 2017. I have stats for the United States and the world.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
I even made a chart.
I can see that.
So, I don't remember if I've talked to you guys about this topic, but what would you think the best-selling car in the United States last year, or best-selling passenger vehicle in the United States was last year?
Passenger vehicle.
Passenger vehicle.
Toyota.
Ford F-150.
It was the F-Series pickups for Ford.
Oh.
By quite a margin.
There are a lot of them.
They had almost 90,000 F-Series pickups sold last year
Wow.
in the United States. Compared to
Well, considering that
2
of my brothers and a ex-roommate of mine have these vehicles, that's why I guessed it.
So what's funny is you'd think that
3 of your brothers.
cars would be popular.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, I forgot about
Yeah.
that. I have third brother also has one, but
Really?
it's a bigger one.
Right, it's still an F-Series pickup. So
That's
it's like,
true.
well, that's just F-Series, it's not F-150. It's like, yeah, but it's basically the same setup of truck with different engines and beds and things, which we'll get into that later. So
Yes, I'm the odd one
what's
with
funny that
a Chevy and a GMC.
the United States, the top 3 are pickup trucks.
Wow.
It goes F-Series pickup, Silverado, and Ram.
Well,
Although-
I do love my pickup.
The F-Series over the Silverado is over 300,000 more sales, which is interesting. Just to set the stage, there were 17.2 million cars sold or vehicles sold in the United States
Wow.
last year. That's what this is based off of. So then it goes to, after that there's 2 SUVs, small ones. You have the RAV4 and the Rogue, which I think you used to have, didn't you?
Yeah, I liked it.
Before you finally get to the Camry, which for years has been the best-selling sedan in the United States.
Yeah.
Then you get a couple Hondas, another SUV and 2 cars, then the Corolla, Escape. Then you start getting to the 2 heavy hitters when it comes to large SUVs, and that's the Chevy Equinox and the Ford Explorer. A couple more cars, Jeep Cherokee, GMC Sierra is in there
Yeah.
at just over 200,000.
Well, they're exclusive,
So it's interesting though. You look at like the F-Series pickups, and that's like 90,000 or 900,000 vehicles. So if you take the top 21 and exclude them from the 17.2 million, that still leaves 10.2 million cars.
Wow.
So there's so many cars that there's just a wide diversity after that. And the chart's interesting. It's more than half is other vehicles in the top 20. So I wanted to take a look at how this compared the United States numbers to the world. So I have the world's numbers here. And I actually made a comparison with the ones that were on the American list.
Mm-hmm. If you can
Can't
drag
get
your
that
chart out of the way.
There we go. So this is a comparison between what percentage of the world sales were made up by the U.S. sales.
Oh, okay.
So the interesting, it might not be interesting, but the world's #1 sales was not a pickup truck. It was the Toyota Corolla.
Huh?
With 1,310,000. So really only 300,000 more than the F-Series pickup in the United States.
Over the entire world.
Over the entire world.
Wow.
And that's, the United States sales of the Corolla only make up like 24% of the world sales. Compared to the second one on the list, which is the F-Series pickup. with worldwide 1,076,000, basically. And but the United States makes up 83% of that number. But
Wow.
all the pickup trucks are like that. The Ram is 83%. Something like the Silverado is 84% of the world's sales were that way.
From the U.S.
I think there was one that really jumped out that had the most. Oh, the Nissan Altima. 92% of Nissan Altimas sold in the world are sold in the United States.
Did they not
Wow.
sell it in other countries?
There's some really weird cars on here I've never heard of. Let
Yeah.
me see if you guys have heard of these. There's the Beojun 510.
No.
Nope.
300,000 vehicles sold.
Is the Takuro Spirit on there?
I don't remember the Spirit. That's Ford Transit, man.
That's a
300,000.
that's a vehicle from the Dark Tower series.
Oh. There's some from companies you recognize, like the Volkswagen Tiguan, which I think they do sell here, but that's 8th on the list worldwide in sales. I was like, really? There's some other ones that were... the Malibu makes the list, but it didn't show up anywhere in the United States.
The Chevy Malibu.
Yes. The GAC Triumph GS4. The Volkswagen Sagittar.
Sagitar?
It's like Sagittar.
Oh, okay.
It's spelled Sagittar, though. The Volkswagen Santana. Or Santana.
Comes with a guitar.
It teams up with other musical artists. Some of these I think are Chinese cars that are kind of knockoffs from.
Oh, yeah.
What was the other one I saw? It was kind of funny. The Volkswagen Levita,
Living La Vida Loca.
I guess. Oh, here we go. The Wuling Hongguang. That's 16th on the list with over 500,000 sales.
Wow.
Yeah, the Industrial Revolution is hitting China hard. So they're having a hard time keeping up. Anyway, I have a graph for this one too. Other vehicles, other than the ones in the top one, I think I went to 72. Other than the top 72 car makers, it's nearly 3/4 of the cars are other than that.
Yeah, like 2/3.
Yeah. I found it interesting that in the American one, the Hyundai did make the list, but it was 20th. But there's several of them on the worldwide top 20. The Haval H6.
Are you sure it's not Hovel?
It might be Haval. Some of them are like Nissan X-Trail. I'm like, what is that? Anyway, it's kind of fun to look up. And even though I kind of proved myself right that pickups are the best-selling vehicles in the United States, he's like, well, that's F-Series. That doesn't count. It's like, yeah, but
How does that not
what
count?
percentage of F-Series is probably F-150s? It's probably more than 75%, which still put the number higher than... They were probably just, I don't know, other companies were probably wanting them to combine all their F-Series picks up into one grouping so that they didn't get beat multiple times. I've been in several pickup trucks, and I like the F-150's interior a lot. There's so much space. It feels cavernous. Like my car does, too, with a really high ceiling. Anyway, so that's the news. Car sale news.
Alright,
All right.
let's do some consumption.
Whoa.
That was a good one, huh?
So I watched a very odd movie.
It's about...
Thomas.
It was called Logan Lucky.
Oh,
I saw that on
Amazon, right? Or is that...
there.
I almost watched it.
Yes. No. Amazon Prime.
Amazon, okay.
Yes. It's got... What's the guy that was in...
Daniel Craig?
Well, it does have Daniel Craig in it. It's got Adam Driver in it.
Oh, the guy from
Star Wars. That does the Kylo Ren.
Yes.
And then it has that guy that was in G.I. Joe. He was in the Jupiter Ascending. What was his
Channing
name?
Tatum?
Channing Tatum is in
Tatum.
it. Yes, he's in it too. It seems like there's some other actors that
Oops.
Hilary Swank was in it.
I was gonna say, is there any actresses in the movie?
I not as familiar with the actresses' names. I don't know why that is, but
Odd, even.
but it's basically a heist movie,
Cool.
and it's about these southern redneck type people that
I think Daniel Craig is the southern redneck.
kind of. But they decide that they are going to steal a bunch of money from a NASCAR race.
Oh.
Seems like a good idea. There's a bazillion people there.
And it was actually, the plot was actually really interesting. Like what they, everything had to go just right for it to work, but the plan to do it was pretty interesting and thought was pretty good. It's also got Jim O'Hare in it, who is in Parks and Rec.
Okay.
Let's see. It seems like there was some other actor that I was surprised. Seth MacFarlane was in it. Let's see. Yeah, there's probably some other characters you'd recognize, or actors, but
Interesting.
I think it was worth watching.
Cool, I'll have to check it out.
I heard from a friend of mine that they liked it, so I gave it a shot. And it's quirky.
It's
And
up my alley.
it's
Then.
kind of fun.
I like quirky.
There's some fun parts in it, for sure. I finished reading the Dark Tower book, the 7th book in the Dark Tower series,
Oh, cool.
and it was really good. It's kind of funny because you get to the end of the book, and there's a chapter where Stephen King is basically telling the reader that if you want a happy ending, stop here. If you want to keep going, you're all up to you. It's on you if you want to keep going.
So would any of us ever heed that warning?
I wouldn't.
No,
I want to find out what happens.
I'd have to read. I mean,
Well, if it doesn't end well, I just have to continue it in my imagination until it does.
Well, and it doesn't end
it's not
real
bad.
horribly, but and I'm reading the series again, I can see where Lost, the TV show, really kind of took its ending from kind of similar to the Dark Tower, how the Dark Tower goes.
Yeah.
Huh.
See that?
So, and now I want to watch the new Dark Tower movie again because I'm refreshed on all the references, and I'm sure there's lots more in that.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's a good book. I enjoyed reading the series again.
Yeah, I'm reading it currently, and so is Master Zed, I believe.
Which book are you on?
I'm on Wolves of the Kala still.
Oh, okay.
I'm not reading it very quickly.
All right. I was going to
Because
give
it's
the
only
book...
one of a few books I'm reading, so...
Okay. I was going to give the book back to you, but you aren't here, so I'll have to give it back to you another time.
Yeah.
And then, I'm hearing an echo of myself.
Weird.
It's me. I'm just repeating everything you say.
So my wife and I started watching a show called Broadchurch. It stars David Tennant.
At first, it starts out as a really weird episode of Doctor Who.
It's got another character that was in Doctor Who. You haven't seen him yet because you haven't been very far. But it's I can't remember the guy's name.
Bob Smithers.
But it's the guy that plays Rory with the 11th Doctor.
Is that a woman?
Oh,
No,
yeah.
it's a male.
No, it's Amy Pond's boy toy.
Yes. Let's see. I'm trying to pull it up real quick here. But his
It's
name
Rory
Arthur
Williams.
Darvill.
Oh, Arthur Darvill.
Yes, and then the character, one of the main female leads is the new Doctor. will be the 13th Doctor?
Doctor? Did I miss anyone?
And Doctor.
So it's basically about this disgraced detective that moves to this small town to become the DI, is that what it's called?
Yep.
Do you remember what that stands for?
Driving intoxicated.
No. Anyway, and shortly after he arrives there...
Detective or something inspector.
Detective inspector?
Yeah, I think so.
Anyway, he's the boss, becomes the boss of the police force, I guess. Well, anyway, there's a murder of a child that happens shortly after he arrives there. And so he sets out to try to solve this murder. And...
Turns out he's a werewolf, and he killed him.
No. But he has the really strong power of suggestion, so if he tells... No, wait, that's a different show. With David Tennant. That was Jessica Jones. No, he's just a detective, normal detective. I mean, he's got some issues, but he works through them to try to solve this crime. And it's a real mystery type show. The first season just deals with this one boy's murder.
Oh,
There's
you've gotten past
3
the first
seasons.
season?
I haven't yet.
Oh, okay, I've only watched the first season.
But I have read that the second and third season are not... I mean, they solve the murder by the end of the first season, which I have 1 episode left to watch. And it was really hard to come to the podcast tonight because I really wanted to watch the last episode.
It's not that common for a show anymore to not give you like immediately who the killer is, so you're in on it.
Yeah, so it's a lot of the fun is trying to guess who the murderer is because they have a lot of red herrings and take you down these other...
A herring!
Yeah. One thing I read was a lot of shows, especially in the UK, they will shoot them out of order so they don't have to move their equipment as often.
Oh.
But this show they shot in order to keep it a secret as to who the killer was.
Oh.
And I think I read that the actors weren't aware of who the killer was at first either. So...
One of you is the killer.
That's kind of fun. I think
Yeah,
better to act.
kind of like this podcast.
One of us is the killer.
It's probably St. Jimmy's. He's
I
not
think
here.
so,
It's
too.
the red herring.
Yeah.
I'm right
You're the
behind
red
you.
herring.
Oh.
Ah. And that's my consumption.
Very nice.
Sweet. Well, I watched a really good movie and a really not good movie.
Which one's which?
Well, I'll tell you the order in which I watched them.
Okay.
The first one I watched was called It Comes at Night. And it was...
About Santa?
No, it's a
Moon?
mystery horror.
Okay.
It's like a post-apocalyptic world, but all you see of the world is this one house
It's not like
out in the woods.
there's crime-solving prostitutes?
No. So it's this family that lives out in the woods, and
Horror movie.
there's some disease that they're really worried about catching, and it's like a couple and their son and the woman's dad, and the woman's dad has the disease, and he dies at the beginning, and they, you know, they have like gas masks and everything's covered in plastic so they don't catch the disease. And then
That's
there's...
probably why he died. They covered him in plastic.
They're super afraid of catching this disease, and then they end up meeting this other guy, and they bring his family in to live with them, and anyways, there's part of the movie where it's hinting that there's like this supernatural, like...
Who's the main character in it? It's, what's his bucket? I saw the previews for this. Looked interesting.
It's Joel Edgerton,
Oh.
and then Christopher Abbott is in it also. Those are the 2 guys that are the dads of the families.
Maybe it's
They were the
not
only
a
ones
movie.
that looked familiar to me.
Maybe it's a different one I'm thinking of.
So they have a dog, and there's this whole thing in the middle where it seems like there's some kind of creature or something, because they're like super afraid to go out at night, and then the dog runs off chasing something, and it gets, attacked, and something attacks the house at one point, but then the culmination of it is just the two families, like, get in this big disagreement, and then a bunch of people die, and then it's sad at the end. But it never explains anything. Like, it was very unsatisfying. So, don't watch it. It's a waste of time.
Maybe it's the opposite of the Stephen King one, where they got a screenplay. It's like, well, this is not a movie. This is like a miniseries.
So, It Comes at Night was written by a guy whose dad had just died.
Oh, so it's a bad place.
So, and it's not, I mean, it's kind of more artistic, I guess, than strictly horror, like, pop film. I don't know.
I know what you mean.
So then you just like the other one.
I was hoping you liked the other one. I've seen that one.
So the other one is called The Babysitter, and it is awesome. It's about this kid. He's in high school. He's a freshman in high school, and his parents go to a hotel, like, it doesn't explain it, but I think they must review them or something. But it never outright says why they keep going away to a hotel, but that's just a plot point because they get him a babysitter while they're gone for the weekend. And so everybody knows that he has a babysitter, even though he's a teenager, and he's like this scrawny kid, and he gets picked on, and he's kind of a nerd. But his babysitter is this girl that's a senior in high school, and she's super cool and popular, and they get along really well. Like, she protects him and is great with him, and, he likes having a babysitter because she's so cool. Well, then his friend is like, yeah, all babysitters, after the kids go to bed, they just have their boyfriend over and they have sex. And so they decide he's going to stay up one night to see if she actually has a boyfriend over. And he ends up catching her and like 5 other people in a Satan cult type thing, and so then it's kind of a chase thing where he's trying to, they're trying to kill him, and it just gets awesome. It's cool deaths, and it's fairly humorous, and you just gotta watch it. It is pretty gory. I don't think there was no nudity or anything, but there's some bad language. So, I recommend it if you don't mind the gore and stuff. Whoops. Let me look up and see who is in it. Bella Thorne is the main chick. Robbie Amell looked familiar. And King Bach looked familiar. None of those names sound familiar, but... Nope. Yeah, so it was good. It was funny. Leslie Bibb, she looked familiar, but the name doesn't sound familiar. She was like the mom.
Huh.
So yeah, it was good. The Babysitter, who knew?
I did.
I think I might watch it again with my wife when she gets back, because I liked it so well. So.
Excellent.
That's it.
So I finished the Secret World Chronicles Book 3.
Oh.
It was a 14-hour read, I think. So I read a lot. Then I immediately bought Book 4, so I'm still reading that now. It's a really good series. It's about superhumans and an invasion of mechanized superhuman Nazis.
Of course. As you would.
A new Netflix show called Godzilla.
I've seen it.
Yeah. It's an
Or I
animation.
haven't seen it. I've seen it on
tried
here.
watching it. I didn't make it 3 minutes, and I turned it off.
Oh, I Minecrafted with it.
Okay.
So I caught the gist of it. basically, monsters show up, and then Godzilla shows up, and people are forced to leave, or they get in a generation ship, but they give up 20 years in, and then they all of a sudden can.
Because it starts with some
back.
guy in a spaceship, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because they're going to send all the old people from their generation ship to a planet that's not, pretty much not a place where you can live, just because old people are tired of being on the ship. But then after that, I think their ship blows up or something, so they're sad. So they decided to turn around because they have a plan to maybe take care of Godzilla when they get back. Actually, so they head back to Earth with their ship. All of a sudden, they can use warp technology to bend space. I guess if you know where you're going, you can do that, right? And they weren't sure it was going to work, but it worked. But they talked about how, even though they were gone 20 years, that when they got back, it was going to be like 1,000 years in the future from when they left.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Relativity.
Which I'm not even sure the math worked out on that, the way they did that, but we'll see.
Depends on what percentage of the speed of light they were traveling.
Right. So they get back and they decide to go down to the planet and try to implement this plan to kill Godzilla. And there's lots of fighting with Godzilla. The planet seems pretty inhospitable because even though they said 1,000 years, it's actually been 10,000 years.
Whoa.
And it said season 1, episode 1. I'm not sure if there's more episodes or if they're. But I don't know. It wasn't what I was hoping for a Godzilla movie.
Yeah.
Or show. So was that?
It was too anime-y for me.
Oh. Were you doing the subtitles or did you go to the dubbed?
I don't remember.
Oh, because there's a dubbed version. So speaking of anime, I watched Full Metal Alchemist, the live-action one.
Is that good?
I enjoyed it, but I have never seen Full Metal Alchemist, the anime, but my kids all told me that the anime is better.
Oh. I haven't seen the anime either, but I saw it on Netflix and I almost watched it. Oh, okay.
It's subtitled.
Mm.
So I can't do it while I'm playing Civ 2.
Nope. I had to watch it without Minecrafting, which I did.
Oh, such a burden.
Well, I save ones I want to watch to do that, but when I get my hands forced by subtitles, sometimes a little bit out at first, but it's good. It's about there's groups of people that can control different things. I almost felt like bending, like fire.
Airbender show.
But the main guy can control rock and metal, basically.
Ooh, that would come in handy.
Sounds pretty metal.
Yeah. It's good. The bad guys are named Lust, Envy, and Gluttony, I think.
Huh.
And they're kind of related to how they look and what their powers are, or whatever, I think.
I control bacon!
No, the Gluttony guy can eat people and things. Like his stomach opens up with like tentacles and grab. Anyway.
Whoa.
It's weird. I feel like
That's
weird
extreme.
weird movies with strange superpowers and subtitles. This is your movie.
That sounds like it.
I liked it. I thought it was good. There's like a lot of anime stuff. There's like way over emoting.
That's kind of why I didn't continue watching Godzilla.
It's like the opposite of a Vulcan. Then I finished finally my 4-season show Turn, which is about the George Washington inspiring and
well, this took a weird turn. Oh.
And there's definitely an end to it. Season 4, they end it, which you'd have to.
Thermonuclear war.
Revolutionary War ends.
Oh.
I like it. The characters are really good, or well developed. There's a lot of twists and turns. You're like, how are they going to survive this one? Or how's this guy going to survive this? And I'm not sure how historically accurate it is. I like the character. I like the actor they got to play George Washington. Thought he was
the
good.
giant robot army.
One of the main story arcs is Benedict Arnold. Kind of shows his fall from grace. It kind of piqued my interest. I might actually look at some actual history about. Try to look up the inspiring stuff and things about Arnold.
Oh, wrong Arnold.
Get to the Potomac! So that's good. Check that out. I liked it. And then last thing I'm going to talk about that I saw was a Netflix original called Mute. and
Ooh.
it's about a mute Amish man in futuristic Germany.
Okay. That's quite
It's one of those, his paramour goes missing, and he spends the movie delving into the underworld of future Germany. In the city, which is different than he loses. He's mute because as a youth he gets run over by a speedboat and it chops up his neck, and that's also in the future. And the doctor says they can fix it and whatever, but they're Amish, so they don't believe in medical science. And I think the main story is that there's some Amish, like they show news headlines showing the history or whatever of groups of Amish people deciding to go back to their homeland, so back to Germany, I guess. But the guy is very tall, very strong, but very quiet. It's worth watching. I liked it. It's good. It's got some pretty good violence, so gory violence in some parts. So if you're not averse to that, don't watch it. Yeah, that's what I have. That's what I did. That's what I watched
Okay.
and read.
All right, St. Jimmy, tell us about your nerd cred.
Okay, well, I came up with 2 inventions that I wanted to run by you guys. I haven't shared these with anybody yet.
Automatic stirring pot's mine already.
No.
I still
One of
have
them
an
is
invention, too.
for you, DViddy.
Oh, right.
This came to me when I was at your house. So, this invention hooks up to your doorbell, and when you get a new dog, you train it that when it hears the doorbell, a treat is released
That's a brilliant
on the
idea.
other side of the house.
Oh.
And so what you do is you make the doorbell sound, and it's there, and it sees the treat come out, and it gobbles it up. Well, then every time somebody comes over and rings your doorbell, instead of the dog running at the door barking, it runs away from the door and goes and gets a treat.
Even if it just dropped it by the door, you'd probably train your dog to be happy when people showed up.
Right.
But
Well,
yeah, I like the added part of having it on the other side of the house. That's even better.
Yeah, because some people may not be used to...
Or you could have it so it shocks the dog unless it's in its kennel.
Oh.
Well, my way was a little bit
Then it would
nicer
always be
for the
the
dog.
Just when you ring the doorbell and run straight to the kennel.
Get
Yeah.
shocked.
No,
on
it'd
the
have like a 5
delay.
seconds
Oh.
to get there.
How would you train it to know where to be?
You just
When
have
it's
to
getting shocked,
shock
put it
it
in
a
the
few
kennel and it
times.
stops.
Mm.
It's the same way you teach a dog not to run out of an electric or an invisible fence yard. Just let them free. They'll figure it out.
Okay.
That's a good one. I like that one. What's the other one?
The other one is an app. It is...
I think apps have been invented.
I think so too. Is that short for application or?
So
Apple.
this is an app for if you have a kid that claims that they're sick on school mornings a lot. So what it is when you open it up, you tell the app whether you want it to show the kid is healthy or sick. And the first time you use it, you do it when the kid is actually sick, so that they use it, and it involves them putting like 2 fingers on the screen or something.
But it doesn't.
And it
It's
will-
like nothing.
It will show up and it'll say, yep, oh, the app says you are really sick, okay. But then the next time you think they're faking it, when you open the app, you tell it that you think they're faking it, and when they do it, it says that they're actually healthy, and then you can call their bluff and send them to school.
So the first part where you show them something that's real is like when you put a rope on a baby elephant to keep it in place. An elephant learns when it's tied by the rope, they can't move farther within a certain distance from the peg. As it gets bigger, even if it can break through it, which would be if they were able to lie to you.
Right. It doesn't know that
They
it
don't
can
know
break
that.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like that.
I was
It's all
looking at-
about
Did you see the
calling your
Saturday
kids
morning
bluff.
breakfast cereal one today?
I did look at it today.
It was a dad basically saying that he lets his kids believe in magic.
Oh,
Santa,
that's right.
the Tooth Fairy, and the Easter Bunny, just so at some future time when his son's about to beat him in a video game, he can reveal to him that there's no such thing for the kid's life so he can win.
Yeah.
Those are good inventions. You should do that.
I'm not gonna do anything.
The
But
dog tree one
it's
would
out
be
there.
hard.
If somebody invents it, just credit me.
Because mine was basically a KitchenAid, but with a burner underneath it, so you didn't have to stir pudding when you're making it. That's the worst part.
Yeah, just put a heating element in the bottom of your KitchenAid.
Yeah, that's all you need. Or just have a KitchenAid that has like the top can swivel away from the main base, so you can just set it next to the stove and swivel it over into your own pot.
Or just cut the base off.
I might do that. So if anyone wants to donate a KitchenAid for me to
cut the
construct
base off and just mount it to the counter next to the stove with like a swivel.
Sorry, Mom.
What?
Oh, put the thing on the... I see what you mean.
Oh, man. You're sick. Do you guys have any nerd cred?
Do that. No.
Yeah, watch the IT crowd.
Oh. That's dirty, I guess.
I really enjoyed... there's a guy at work named Peter, and one of my friends makes up kind of inappropriate nicknames for everybody. So he calls him Mr. File.
Yeah.
Which I watched the IT crowd where there was a guy named Peter File.
Yeah, it was the chick's boyfriend, right?
Jen's boyfriend, and they're going someplace at the airport, and they screw up their tickets or something. So the ticketing agent is saying, "Yeah, we need a Peter File up at the guy stands up. That's us. I'm Peter File." Yelling loudly, and then it cuts to Jen like escaping out of the airport cab.
Yeah.
Very funny.
That's almost like a Seinfeld-esque where you're like in a relationship, but there's just one weird thing that drives you crazy.
Acts like a magician.
Yeah.
Right, or he has man hands.
Yep.
Or he wants to eat you.
Or he's actually homosexual and he's only dating her because she looks like a man.
Yeah, that one's hilarious.
Awesome.
All right, do we have feedback?
Not much. Just one person.
We didn't talk about mechanical pencils.
Stop it!
Just one person liked our G.I. Joe pin on Pinterest.
Oh, just one?
Yeah, some guy named Theo. So thanks, Theo.
Oh, you know what? I do have nerd cred. That reminded me for some reason.
Okay, we'll go.
Can we go back to nerd cred?
Sure.
Okay, so there's a website called sporkle.com.
Yeah, you do little quizzes.
Just you saying that. There's his nerd cred.
So it has something where you can take quizzes that other users make. And they have what are called badges.
He misses school so much, he goes and takes quizzes all on his own.
I love taking quizzes. There's badges you can earn by completing different quizzes.
Yeah.
Well, all of a sudden, the other day, I started getting all these notifications that people are following me on that website. And I'm like, what the heck's going on? So then I looked at the new badges. And one of the badges was a planetary badge where you have to get 100% on like the Mercury facts, Venus facts, all these other ones. Well, like 3 or 4 years ago, I made a quiz that was a Mercury fact quiz. And that was included as one of the quizzes that you had to complete for the badge. So
that's cool.
Like, sweet.
You're a nerd celebrity. A nerd celebrity.
So that's
you are a huge nerd.
People started following me. Yeah, so far 34,000 people have played that quiz.
Whoa!
Yes.
Let's do
that
nerdy
is
show
crazy.
fact quiz.
You
have to make it though, so that people.
I don't know how many recently.
If they enjoy it, they probably go find other quizzes you've made.
The other quiz that was published of mine on there has had 24,000.
Jeez. We're advertising the wrong place, St. Jimmy.
Yeah, we need to have a...
Halfway through the quiz, it pops up in the Nerdy Show link app.
Or just, make quizzes under the name Enginerdy Show.
Well, maybe we could come up with some good ones.
Well,
especially about Stephen King.
These ones are under my actual name.
Think of the quizzes we could make about Stephen King.
Oh, yeah, since we watched these movies.
Yeah.
Stephen King movies that have cats in them. Ranked by number of cats.
then sleepwalkers would win.
Didn't say living cats.
Ooh, this has a high cat quotient.
We should have a cat quotient in the Stephen.
Anyway,
dog
that
ratio.
was my nerd cred. I forgot to.
That's good. That's kind of amazing. Alright, well, if you want to contact the Enginerdy Show, our email is engineerdyshow@gmail.com, or you can find us on Facebook and Twitter. Probably the fastest way is if you go to engineerdyshow.com. There is a little Facebook and Twitter link underneath each episode. You can click through there. While you're at the website, you can click on an Amazon link to do your Amazon shopping. They give us a percentage of whatever you spend after you click through. That's pretty awesome. It helps support the show, make it better.
Yeah, if you listen through iTunes, leave a review on iTunes.
Oh yeah, you can do that. I
We
get
have
an
12.
email once a month telling us that we don't have any new reviews, so that's always a big
I actually,
downer.
since I have iTunes now, I went on and reviewed another podcast,
Nice.
Oh,
The
Weird.
Scan the Void.
That is good.
I have a hard time writing reviews. I type something that just sounds stupid.
Oh, I wrote this awesome review of the last Secret World Chronicles book. I
Yeah.
finished it on Amazon, and then I realized that I'd put it in the title of the review,
Oh,
and it kept on telling me I needed 20 more characters to complete it. I was like, "What are you talking about? I have so many." And then tried to click through it, deleted it.
oh,
Oops.
So I didn't redo it. I just said, "Screw that."
Eh.
It was like awesome. It was awesome for my sleepy brain. It was right before I went to sleep.
Thank you for listening this week. Stay nerdy.
live long and nerdy.
You have been and always shall be, my nerds.
Okay, so now you need to go to a video program and go up to the outputs and hit stop recording.
Outputs. Stop local recording.
Yeah.
Goodbye.